Well, hello, folks. Huge from Donald Trump. That's the end of Ontario and what looks like Quebec. And I mean devastating blow. 25% tariffs, automotives, clearly laid out, clearly on all auto parts, all of it. If it ain't made in America, it's getting 25% tariffs, all on autos. Instant death of Ontario, instant layoffs. Everyone in Ontario knows it. The steel, aluminum tariffs, those aren't going anywhere either. More is Quebec. They're going to get the majors on pharma. No more pharma outside the USA. That's the end of Quebec too. Folks, and I know people don't understand, but you got to understand. More than 60% of the population of Canada, Ontario and Quebec, under and just over the 49th parallel, but most underneath the 49th parallel, about to be devastated. Quebec's economy is going to be completely wiped out. Ontario's too. That's a fact. More than that, Trump goes on to say it's coal plants and energy. With every plant for manufacturing, they're going to get a coal plant. Completely reversing everything. Don't need your energy, don't want it. Already, Albertans, and you still have reciprocal tariffs to go on top of your energy. Like I told everybody, this is playing out almost exactly as I said. The idea of LNG was just myth busted. As I said, Germany did not sign on with Canada. Sure, they had them out that last year. Brian Jean is completely lying to you. I already myth busted that whole group many months ago, and they stopped publishing because they were telling you they had a list of 6 countries, all for Canadian energy. Well, it's gone. It was gone many months ago. I know as of January, Germany was gone and many others gone. And sure, maybe they'll buy your energy when you're at $5 a barrel, but by then Canadians will be shutting in. I've tried to warn you about this. The world is whatever the mightiest say it is, and Canada by far is real low on that list and will not be getting all of these agreements. It's all a lie. Just as it was in Texas more than 200 years ago. More than 200 years ago. It was a lie for them as it's a lie for all of you. I wanted to tag my friend Benjamin Ebley, the American who runs the Alberta Statehood movement. He launched a whole bunch of publications today to try and convince those in the movement about colonialism. All of that I've spent years reading, that AI is starting to get fed. And Benjamin releases AI, all the things we've talked about over the years, as I've been doing high academic research, focusing on key things, the malfunctions of this country, Canada. And you'd be surprised how many hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pages I would have to read in my lifetime. I'll never get to. Never mind literally 30 million papers on so many issues that I'll never read in a lifetime. Nobody could, because it's in the hundreds of millions of pages. Never read it in a lifetime. Never read it. But I focus on key things, and I've put this together, and I've nailed it. That international media, after work tomorrow I get suited up. I'm downtown Toronto, suit and tie, I'm getting filmed. That's going to be huge and epic. I'm going through a list of you guys. I'll see about what you've written. They want to publish this story incredibly fast. They're changing as of Trump's tariffs. They're now trying to call Doug Ford's office to get a reaction. And I'm telling them what just happened. And I can say that I have news from Manitoba in a massive story there on the international stage that ties right into what we're doing, and one particular 51st stater here I'm going to get as many people as I can out. But I'm going, like I said, tomorrow night, downtown Toronto, suit and tie. And I'm giving a video that it's going to be international news, folks. That's what happens when you stay credible, real, truthful, verifiable. You don't get big stages like that if you're a big mouth liar. And I've never ever done that to any of you. I do love Canadians. I just hate the country. I hate the government. I hate the crown. I've tried my damnedest over so many years to spread these truths. And now, especially in these last months, since December 2nd, under massive ridicule, massive ignorance of Canadians. And it's scary because Canada's about to get the beating of its lifetime. And like I told you, America's popping the titty out of the mouth on everything. And there's no going back, as Trump told you. This is for entirely his administration. Canada, you won't survive it. The majority won't survive this. Not economically. We'll be a third world in a couple of years. Old King Carney can print off all the money he wants, and he can borrow like mad against the United States. But you will see the currency devaluation when the customers aren't lined up at the door for your 40 million economy, people. It's a joke. I'm sorry. We're only viable as part of the union where everyone will get sovereignty. I've been telling this over and over. And if any economist with a shred of decency, human decency, who wasn't on the public tit and wasn't in bed with the crown being paid by the crown, I know many who are all making a hell of a lot more money than me, home every night with their family, living off of all of you, your blood, sweat, and tears. And now you're not going to be able to deliver anymore. But they're going to try and cash out in this last couple year hurrah. Well, they're all going to have their escape route where 90% of you will know what it's like to be in a third world country, because that's how they're going to leave you. We have to do the 51st state. There is no argument. There's no, we're going to teach USA a lesson. You're going to lose. The world is not the friend you think it is. If it was, USA wouldn't have the mighty military they got. And you can deny that, but America is the freest place in the world. The world could be a lot worse without USA in it. And too many of you don't know. You don't know. And now USA is saying, you're going to find out. Go show us all your mighty friends. You don't got any. We've played this song and dance many, many times at great expense of America, who loved you more than anybody. But you took it for granted. Your government warped you into something perverse. And America ain't messing around. They never go backwards. When those people of America, April 15th of 2026 here, when they file their taxes and they get all of that back from you and so many other countries, but especially you, Canada, you and Mexico, we're going to see where Americans want to go from there, because I promise you, there's no Democrat in the world that's going to be able to sell them on increasing their taxes. Oh, let's go back and jack up income tax. They're going to go, fuck you. And I'm sorry to swear, folks, but this is reality. Ontario's been destroyed today. The mightiest of Canada's economy has just been leveled starting April 3rd, and it's immediate for all of those companies. So much manufacturing, many towns I'm surrounded by, they're going to turn into God horrendous. That's truth. And there isn't enough stimulus, printed money that old King Carney's going to be able to do. And I'm sorry, but the bullshitter Pierre Poilievre, who's a theater major with no credentials, none whatsoever, except for thieving, a theater major, just like Trudeau the actor, there's no one to save you. There's no one to save you. I've told you this with everything I have, not because I hate Canadians, but because I love them. And it's because I care about the First Peoples and Canadians alike. I want to see equality of the person. If there was any other solution, I would be the first to do it. All anyone has to look at is 8 years of my life. If I could roll out any of those solutions, I've tried. God knows I've tried. I've tried to fix this country. I've spent years since independence trying through all of your premiers at the federal level, laughed at legislatures. Barely a movement on the needle. One premier, one tiny bit of what I tried to propose. 1 ounce of salvation for the people. But they don't want it and the people don't care. Well, you're going to care. Because this was devastating today. And they ain't backtracking. There's no amount of fix this from Canada. Where's Canada going to come up with the money? They can't. Where's Quebec going to come up with 50 billion? Where's Ontario going to come up with 100 billion? In reciprocity, auto, and all of it, because that's what we're talking about here. Where's Alberta going to come up with 40 billion? Because that's what we're talking about here. And that isn't even the third when reciprocity tariffs go on top of the other. Like ignoramus maximus. Ignoramus maximus. Terrifying. Children, dullards, running this country. And now we got real smart people who are real good at what they do. At high intellectual levels are going, we can make it all back just out of these key countries. There's a number of them. We can't stay afloat. Ontario and Quebec are done. Alberta's done. Northern Ontario, or BC's done. Southern Saskatchewan, done. And then you got China on top of that. What happened to China, your best friend? How much do we give up? What quality of life do we give up, Canadians? 1/3 of everything we have to the United States? Another 15% on top of that for China? Get your fucking head out of your ass. And I mean quick, because it's game over. It's already game over. And we all knew, those in the know, those who've looked at this and took it seriously, knew this was coming. But everybody, like anything, wait till you're in a boxcar, head shaved on your way to the gas chamber. You think you're different than any of those peoples in history? History repeats itself. Humans are all the same. That's why I believe in equality of the person. I know there's no difference between anybody or any peoples. We're all capable of great evils or great love. And it's sad to say Canada's a great evil. I'm sorry to break your hearts. But if you don't know that, you're going to know it in a right quick hurry. And it's instantaneous. There's no bailout. There's only Mark Carney, the master of finance and debt loading. And you'll carry on. Oh, the government, this is going to be way bigger than COVID bailouts. Bigger than the Bank of Canada bailouts and the chartered bank bailouts of Harper. Way bigger. How long can you go? How long can you go as the dollar goes like this? And all of a sudden, you can't even afford your interest payments. Like the country of Texas 200 years ago. Sorry, you're bankrupt, game over. Your people are freezing to death, starving. You can't even run the power plants anymore. There's no food on the table. And then you're begging USA at that point. Help, help, we're sorry. We were foolish to follow the crown. Yeah, you're right, we hate them. Well, there's going to be a period where they're going to tell you, like they tell other people in history, you need this to be instituted. You people got to know it. And it's going to have to be generational teaching. We need to slap you straight. Scared stupid, you know? The druggie who finally gets so scared, facing prison, facing death, and maybe it scares them straight. That's what's going to happen to us if we don't move this now. Now, folks, you can choose to believe what you want, but the hammer blow was dealt, and much more to come on the 3rd. But the major beating for, again, more than 60% of the country overnight, announced just a few minutes ago, done like dinner, and there is no reprieve. And I promise you, there's no buying your way out of this. What are we going to give up, everybody? Trump's going to say, I'm already getting 1/3 of your economy out. What is it you could give me to possibly stop me from doing that? I know 51st state, get on it now or be destroyed economically. And then after that, when you come groveling, look at the history of the 37 states. You come groveling all right, but we got to make sure your people really know it. They really are so screwed that they implemented in their children for generations. So they know all you have is the union. And you're going to beg for it, and you're going to have to suffer many, many years. I don't like those prospects. I'm going to have to live it the same as everybody else. That's probably what's going to happen. And I'm the one banging on the drum. Well, your politicians you all love, these low-life, degenerate thieves and assholes, have already safely secured themselves. Where? In the United States of America. They've got millions. Don't worry about them. You're on the Titanic. They're the first class in the lifeboats. Bye. That's my video. If you care about your children, your grandchildren, if you have any decency in you, get this video shared out. It's undeniable. Anyone who's been following me for any amount of time for the last 3 months faithfully, bingo, bammo, it's done. Game over. I told you so. It's 51st state and decolonization or the destruction of Canada. Absolutely. Through what? Sanctions, and very soon coming beyond that, trade embargoes. No one could save you. There's no Carney pill. He's probably the only one who can delay it a little longer, or maybe make it happen faster. In fact, look what he did to UK. Probably make it go faster. That's my video. It's up to you. All of you who've been following me, come on. I nailed it. Just like I nailed Alberta's oil. Just like I nailed what would happen with the debts and deficits. And I know a lot of you see it. And now you're all going to see it right across Canada. And it's going to get ugly right where I'm at here. I'm right beside Oshawa. That's going to get real ugly. That's my video. I know.